Hey everyone, it's Lightning here from LightlicePlays, flying solo for this episode, and let's just cut to the chase. This is going to be a particularly odd episode, for reasons I will explain in a minute. Yes, this is an episode of Fire Emblem Three Houses where it's just going to be me on audio and nothing else is going to be playing in the background. But to the point of this video, for the first time in our channel's history, we actually lost both sets of audio, both mine and Alice's, in the making and editing of this recording. So this is going to be post-commentary, which kind of feels weird for a start because we've never done anything like this, at least for our Let's Plays, but that's besides the point. In this episode, we are going to be taking on a paralogue called The Face Beneath, which is a paralogue between Caspar and Mercedes and the Death Knight and all the rest of our entourage and whatnot. So, with that said, let's get into the video and let's just talk about the fighting, the match itself, and what we've done before fights being prepped. So right here, as you can imagine, we are just going through the active skills that we have on each character. Didn't change much, just changed bog standard upgrades and what characters have an advantage over which type of classes or weapons, etc, etc. And we'll probably just skip through a lot of that really quickly, as well as changing different classes as well, such as Felix becoming a proper swords master and whatnot, and of course us teaching our students various things throughout the week, and of course Felix gets reason up and Shura gets her lance prowess. Basically, we're thinking of moving Felix up the sword ranking, and Hilda hopefully getting to become a wyvern queen in short terms. Apart from that, nothing else much to say except people got better and people got stronger. We didn't really change much in terms of equipment because in this particular fight it isn't really that high strung, at least on the settings in which we're doing it in. So apart from that, not much in terms of strategy for setup per se, but if I were to give a brief summary, just deal with people who are mostly on horseback and mostly with demonic beasts. The rest is kind of trivial and in that regard, and I'll get to the actual mechanics in the fight when we get to it. And just so you know ahead of time, this is, as far as we know, the only episode in which is going to be like this. But I gotta ask straight away, if you do end up liking this particular style of commentary or let's play style or whatnot, let us know. Let us know your opinions, criticisms, things you liked and didn't like about this style, and hey, maybe we'll switch things up in the future. Again, this is probably going to be the only time in the series, and hopefully for a long time, that we are going to have to resort to this type of commentary style. Honestly, I couldn't tell you what happened to both sets of audios. We pressed record and it just didn't work out for some reason. But hey ho, enough about that. Let's get to the fight itself and let's get to the goods and the nitty gritty of the fight. And to the fight in which we're going to take on now. The Face Beneath. Whispers of Death Knight sightings in Garrick Mark excite Caspar. Mercedes has something more pensive reaction. Something must be on her mind. This is a paralogue which we faced before, but hey, we're going into it with a new set of eyes. So, without further ado, let's get to the fight.
Professor, Mercedes! What are you two doing here?
We were just talking. Why do you look so flustered?
Haven't you heard? An Imperial army was spotted near Garrick Mach.
Oh, do you think they came to scout?
Maybe. We could probably take care of them if that's the case. But I heard the Death Knight is out there.
The Death Knight. No, nothing, really. Now's probably not the time, but I was just thinking of my brother.
You have a brother?
Yes, but we have different fathers. He was a year younger than me.
Why'd he suddenly come to mind?
You see,
Quickly! You must prepare for battle. The Death Knight has been spotted in the sealed forest. He only has a few troops with him, so we planned on taking him out with just the knights, but we can't guarantee that reinforcements won't arrive. We would appreciate your backup, just in case.
the Death Knight. I have to go.
Mercedes, wait! I don't know what's going on with you, but...
No, I have to go see him.
Yeah, we can't let him get away. I'll help Mercedes find the Death Knight. You go gather the others and meet up with us, Professor.
And ladies and gentlemen, here is the map for today's fight. In a nutshell, it is similar to when we were here when we awakened ourselves and we had to say goodbye to Sophis, but apart from that, there is not much difference in terms of visuals on this map. Now, to cut things into perspective with this map, there is two routes in which you can take through this map. You can either take the left side, which is ideally the quickest way if you want to get to the end, but if you want to go through the right side, you have more of a slower but more combat focused route. So if you want to get EXP, training and all that good stuff, you are more than welcome to. But now the gimmick of this particular map, your group is separated into two parties. You with a majority of the party in which you bring in, and another party is simply Caspar and Mercy all on their own facing the Death Knight. A strategy in which you could particularly take is on the right side. If you want to go through all of your heavy fighters or the people who are most capable of taking out demonic beasts, then hey, that's a party in which you can take. However, if you want to go through a slightly easier route but get quicker routes, I would definitely recommend horse units, flight units, but however, I will bring up a caveat on having characters, if you are going to go that route, to have some kind of dark magic defense, because the game, if you go through the quick route, is going to throw a few curveballs at your end, but I'll get to that when you get to that particular moment in the fight. For me personally, I decided to go half and half, quickness and power, just so I could show off majority of what the map has in store for you. So just to cut it short, I had flight units, fan and horse units, magic users and sword and fighter units. Again, didn't spruce many things up, just kept characters as is. So with that set up, let's get to the actual fight and let's begin.
Emil, wait! Don't go! Take your helmet off, please. Let me see your face. It really is you under there, isn't it? I've been searching for so long.
I finally caught up with you, Mercedes. You're faster than you look. But I'm here now, so you can give up, Death Knight.
You worry us, Death Knight, gallivanting around like that. Is it possible that you're in contact with someone in the church? I don't know whether your silence is confirmation or denial. If it pleases you, I will take it as denial. In that case, let's wipe out every last one of those Garrig mock rats.
I have no interest. You do it.
What? I will report this to Her Majesty. All right, everyone, kill them all!
Come at me! I'll take you all on!
Caspar, wait! Are you going to kill the Death Knight too?
That was the plan, but you're acting like you don't want me to. Do you know him or something?
I do. But he also doesn't look like he wants to fight us. Let's join up with everyone else. I think he might retreat if we defeat the other Imperial soldiers.
I'm not gonna let him escape. I might fight him even if he does try to get away.
As per usual, if Mercedes or Caspar falls in battle, then you automatically lose the fight in general. But the game not so subtly lets you know that the Death Knight, even though you are literally at death's door, you will not engage in the Death Knight if you do nothing. So, for example, if you just make Caspar and Mercedes wait, you know, for turns and turns and turns, nothing will happen. However, eventually, all units surrounding Caspar and Mercedes off to the left and right, they'll slowly encroach. And just like anyone in this game, if they are quickly surrounded, then they are not going to last a great deal of time, especially for someone as not necessarily fragile as Mercedes, but not someone who is heavily defensive as is. But now, let's get to the point. Right here, I could actually finish off the Death Knight in one blow. But that wouldn't be fun, would it? It'd be boring. And also, the game or the match does not end if you kill the Death Knight quickly. This game has two sets of victory states. Either you kill all of the enemies except the Death Knight, or you beat every enemy on the map, including the Death Knight, and ideally, the latter is actually your best option, because you actually get a specific award for it. But however, that reward is very specific, and I will explain when we get close to the end. And I'm just going to say it right now. If you are quick on your feet and take out all the enemies on the left hand side, you can make short work of this fight in particular, even with the hidden surprises this game has in store for you. But as you can see here, I'm making quick work of the demonic beasts by dragging them away from the chest that Petra is going for, and dragging them closer to us, so even those with short amount of ranges, they can take out these in quick fashion. Now, you might notice that I'm bringing in all my forces to take on this particular guy, and my reason being for that is that with this map and this fight, the hard bits are mostly at the beginning and at the end. The middle ground is not particularly hard at all, because apart from the beasts that are surrounding you at the very start, that's the only hindrance you have. The grunts in the middle really are not that special, because it's bog standard armor units, bog standard magic units, cavalry units, and all that jazz. But even someone like Dorothea is able to not kill them outright, but make quick work of them as is. But hey, it's no problem for us, because we can just take them out that way.
It won't be in vain.
I'll do my best.
Another strategy I have is I'm going to weaken my right flank, but at the same time bring us along, just so we can give a solid ground there. And even someone like Dorothea and Marianne, they can pick up the slack in which we can't do things like healing a great distance or attacking from a great distance. So there we go. The right side is going to be doing heavy work.
At your service.
Now, you could do particular things in this match if you so wish. Go for the Death Knight and go for the kill, then by all means. But however, I will say, In terms of the placement of Mercedes and Caspar, particularly Caspar, it's a subtle hint for you to have Caspar be on the offensive and Mercedes to strictly give support, both for practicality reasons in this fight as well as the end game for the reward. So for your benefit, no matter which way you go, unless you've strictly decked out Mercy to be an offensive unit, which isn't really her forte.
I will not chase you. Challenge me, and I will have no choice but to fight.
I apologize there, I forgot that dialogue took place there. But yeah, the Death Knight just basically says he's got business to deal with, so... And here is a very odd thing about that particular piece of dialogue. For those who don't know, we are playing on a normal difficulty this time round. As opposed to hard and maddening difficulty, this normal mode actually has unique dialogue for the specific reward you get at the end of the match. And that is intriguing to me because I think it's one of the only times in this game in which it gives distinct dialogue depending on a difficulty setting. If there is any other moments which we pass by, please let us know because I am a sucker for those kind of details. But anyway though, to the match. As you can see already, it's got bog standard units, nothing much to deal with. Now, here is the subtle difficulty and the sort of curveball that the left-hand side is going to give you. Because, as I mentioned before, the left-hand side of this map is the quickest option, especially if you have flying and horse units. The reason being is that this match, if it gets past 10 turns, or you have any other character apart from Mercedes or Caspar get close to the two I just mentioned, then the game will throw out reinforcements. Now, they are not that difficult at all, it's just more dark magic users and whatnot. So, I can see why they did that. It sort of penalizes you for speed, but at the same time though, it's not that big of a deal because, you know, it's like throwing cones in your way thinking that's going to be a good barricade, but actually it does nothing. But I digress. So apart from those reinforcements and the demonic beasts on the right hand side, you haven't really got that much problem. And like I said, it's been a whole turn, and the reinforcements that are surrounding Caspar and Mercedes have not actually done anything yet. This is mostly just me just going around the map and just killing all the enemies and just gaining EXP and training and all that good stuff. So, ain't really much to talk about. I guess the only thing I can say is this is of course our second time doing this map, and even during our first time round where we knew absolutely nothing about what was coming up, we had little to no difficulty on this one because, like I said, it's just fairly simple. As long as you're not careless about a divine beast. I'm thinking of Breath of the Wild here. No, demonic beasts. As long as you're not hapless around them, then you should be particularly fine and not gung ho with the Death Knight. Another little piece of trivia about the Death Knight is that this is the only map in the entire game featuring the Death Knight in which his level is actually lower compared to all of the other times that you face him in the game, because thinking to the times which you faced the Death Knight before, as in like in the tomb and also in the catacombs, it's definitely given the impression that the Death Knight is out of your league and is set many levels higher than you when you first start out. Bog standard game design gives you a too strong enemy to fight straight off, but later on during the game you get stronger and then you're able to take him down, you know, all that good stuff. But yeah, as you can see, I'm just taking my time looking after my crew and just slowly dealing with the midpoint. And I'm just gonna say you right now, you pretty much won the moment you get past the midpoint and take out that last demonic beast on the right hand side that you're seeing right now. Because if you take them out, then you've got a clear shot to the finish.
To steal those moves.
I don't think I've mentioned this beforehand, but on the top left hand side of the map with the reinforcements surrounding Mercy and Caspar, they actually have a demonic wolf up there. Again, not that big of a deal, it's just simply to give you a challenge for Caspar to face, but really ain't that much of a difference. So yep, I think I've said everything I need to at this point in the match, so let's just skip on ahead and let's get to when reinforcements turn up, just so you can see what they look like when they show up. And here we go. Once your allies get to a particular distance to Mercedes.
What should we do?
Let's take them out. Reinforcements just means we get to fight even more.
Yep, as you can see, once your allies get a distance to Caspar and Mercedes, like I said, the army units just appear, and as you can see, they aren't really that big of a deal. The only caveat is that they've surrounded Caspar and Mercedes. Oh, obviously. But if the only reason why they appear is that because you have allies to back up Mercedes and Caspar, then does that make them a threat? I don't think so, because if it was just them two on their own, then maybe. But seeing how one of the activation requirements for those reinforcements to appear is if you get allies close enough to help out, then it kind of takes away the threat in which those enemies have. I don't know, it's very weird, unless you are really slow, in which case you activate the 10 turns requirement, then I can see that being a threat, but as is, I'm not playing expertly, as you can see, but even then, I managed to adequately make it in a decent amount of time and help those two out. And also, guess what? The Death Knight, he still won't attack unless you aggro him, so even the Death Knight is not really a problem.
Thank you.
So no, overall, it just makes it very weird. Which again, why I said this particular fight is not really hard or complicated in any way, it's just bog standard. But yeah, unless you've got any business to take care of, then you can take care of the Death Knight at any time at your leisure. The biggest threat really is just those horseback mages from the left hand side. If you've got poor resistance to magic, then I can see them being a problem. But even then, the horses are stuck behind trees. So that kind of eliminates the risk of a horse. I don't know, it's just very strange.
A tragic end. Keep our guard up.
Now, as you can see, I almost lost Mercy there, but she was able to hang on just fine. So this map is not without its challenge. It's just, if you know what you're doing, it's not really that big of a deal. And for me, I think at this point it's just about weaning all the enemies and just taking care of them that way. So if I may, I might just skip through and I'll wait until there's only the Death Knight remaining. And I'm gonna say right now, seeing how at this point you would have a number of allies who are able to take care and back you up against the Death Knight, let me just go over the particular things in which you can get from the Death Knight as bog standard. If you beat him bog standard, you get a Dark Seal. If you steal from him, you have the chance to get either an elixir, which is good for healing, or an accuracy ring if you really are hell-bent in getting that. For me, they aren't really that big of a deal because accuracy rings and elixirs you can buy them at this point of the game, and accuracy rings are not that hard to come across whether you are exploring areas, buying them from Anna's shop, or just stealing from other enemies, or if you want to, you can always have a random chance in finding them with through the amiibo gazebo. But I digress. There is one particular item left in which you can get from the Death Knight, and this is what I meant about it being very weird and very specific. But again, I'll say that when we get to the Death Knight itself. I just figured I'd bring up the stealing items just in case Caspar or Mercy are not the people you have for stealing stuff, which I can't imagine you would.
You try to hide yourself with that mask and helmet, but I know who you really are.
I have nothing to say to you.
I did this just to show off the unique dialogue that Mercy has with the Death Knight, but your main objective is, if you want to get the goods in this fight, have Caspar deal the final blow.
The infamous Death Knight, champion of the Empire. Taking you down is gonna be satisfying.
Simpleton.
I'll get stronger.
As you can see, the Death Knight does not play around, as by all means. Remember how I said the Death Knight, that the difficult part of the maps were the beginning and the end? Here's why.
I told you that if you fled, I would not chase you. But it seems you wish to die.
Just figured I'd show off the dialogue from this particular one, just in case you wanted to see the normal player dialogue. Death Knight, even though his levels have been dropped from the last time we saw him in comparison, he still packs a heavy punch because he's still on a horse and he's still on a healing tile, so his evasiveness and whatnot, it's been increased twofold. So come at him with everything you got. But again though, if you really want to give yourself an advantage later on in the game, try as you might to have Caspar deal the final blow, and there you have it. Because you get the Dark Seal as normal. We'll just toss that for later.
Simple, but effective.
You're not getting away that easy.
Now the Death Knight disappears in general, because that means you have to kill all of the enemies. Again, just to emphasize, 2 sets of victory states. Either you kill everyone except the Death Knight, or you kill everyone. Your ideal way is to kill everyone, including the Death Knight. So try as you might, like I've done, leave one enemy left, so much to the point at which they're pretty much a non-factor in hindering you, and just focus on the Death Knight in general. And then after he's done and dusted, then you can just deal with anyone that remaining enemy however you want in any way, shape or form. So now let's just cut to when we eventually kill this horsey brick, and then we'll get to the boons, the ending, and the conclusion to this paralogue.
I must keep going.
And there we are. Bernie with her critical shots. Of course she was an MVP.
We did it! Are you alright, Mercedes?
I am, thanks to you. But still...
There's something you wanted to ask him, right? Come on, he ran off into the forest.
Thank you, Caspar.
You get battalions as well. No, and nothing much to hop on about. But still one more reward to come.
You came.
How many years has it been since we last spoke? I'm so sorry. I should have come for you sooner. I'm sure it wasn't pleasant living in House Bartels.
I'm not sure I follow. Do you know this guy, Mercedes?
My younger brother, Emile. Is it really you?
I'm sorry, what? Your brother is the Death Knight? But you two look nothing alike.
Mercedes, leave the monastery.
Hold on just a minute. Is that all you've got to say for yourself?
This doesn't concern you.
That's not true. You're her brother, right? But you've got nothing nice to say to her after all this time?
You will die.
Even if I die, I've made my choice. Please, Emile, fight on our side instead.
I cannot. My soul has long departed. And yet, here, take this and go.
Is this a hero's relic? You and I must share the same crest.
When next we meet, I will kill you without hesitation.
You won't kill me. I have this now.
What is it? You got a problem with me?
Take this.
This is...
I will kill her. Until then, she must live.
Emile! I can't believe he's gone again.
I can't tell whether or not he actually cares that you're his sister.
Somewhere, hiding underneath that helmet, there's a very sweet boy.
Is that a joke? Would a sweet boy threaten to kill someone? I don't get you, Mercedes.
Living at House Bartels changed him. But that's beside the point. Thank you, Caspar. I couldn't have confronted him without you.
Don't worry about it. I may not understand you half the time, but we're still pals.
Come on then, pal. Let's get back to everyone else.
From this fight, as your normal reward, you get the Raphael Gem. This is a hero's relic unique to Mercedes, and with it, it allows you to mitigate effective damage, as in like sword, beat shield or whatnot, and it also makes you immune to critical hits. For someone who is fragile like Mercedes, that is actually a good amount of defense. Not an amazing amount, but it definitely takes that concern out of your mind. But the exclusive reward in which you get from this fight is if you have Caspar deal the final blow, you get the Scythe of Serail. Serail? Whichever one it's pronounced as, aka the Death Knight's weapon. What this is, without anything else, it's the best lance in the game. The most powerful, the lightest, and with the biggest critical hit range. For someone like Dimitri or anyone else who specializes in lance, this is as close to perfect as you can get. And best of all, it's not a hero's relic, so it doesn't cause you negative effects or anything of that sort. So you could immediately change someone from being an okay lance user to making them deadly overnight just by that particular one. So it is very worth your time. However, if anyone else but Caspar deals the final blow on the Death Knight, you don't get it. It just is lost too with the ages. And on top of that, in future fights against the Death Knight, he no longer has that weapon. Instead, he comes with just a Brave Lance. That's still a bad weapon to have because it's critical hits and whatnot, but just not as dangerous as what a near perfect scythe would be. But however, if you don't get the scythe from this fight, then the Death Knight will also have it in fights to come. The game doesn't outright say it, but still, it's a very useful thing and a very sweet gesture to have. And with that said and done, that has been the episode for you today. I apologise again for the loss of audio on both mine and Alice's side. As far as we know, again, it's not happened since, and hopefully it won't happen again ideally. But I gotta ask, if you like this particular commentary style, let us know. If there's anything which you can think we could do differently or change, by all means let us know. Either way guys, thank you very much for watching this very particular weird episode. But hey, it is much appreciated nonetheless. So guys, if you want to like this video, then please be sure to like it. If you don't like it, well then your comments and your words can get lost just like our audio did. Sad face. But if you want to watch some more shenanigans like this, then please be sure to subscribe to us, and hey, give us a follow on Twitch as well if you'd like. But on that note guys, we'll see you later for Fire Emblem Three Houses, where we are back to normality. See you guys then.